Right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited, a little bit nervous, but very excited to show you guys a preview of the new beta bill of materials module. Our plan is for this session is just to start with a quick overview of what's changed and why we made these changes and updates. And then we'll walk through a live demo so you can see the new experience in action. We'll also cover how to report issues and provide feedback, since your input is going to be absolutely crucial before we roll out this to everyone. So tuck in, get ready, get your popcorn. We're going to see some major changes in the bill of materials today. And like I said, just really excited for you guys to start experiencing it and giving us some feedback. Before we jump into the demo, just some housekeeping. I just want to set some context, and we've completely redesigned and refactored the BOM, so a huge change for everybody. You'll notice a major UI, user interface, and a UX upgrade, the user experience. With those things definitely comes like speed improvements, and definitely some fixes for some long-standing issues, like everyone's dreaded reported rounding errors. Some of our Canadian dealers possibly in the room, some of those tax calculations, and any other errors that you may have reported. We're trying to attack those as we redo this entire module. This is still, oh, everyone, Marisa, will you, one of my,
I'm on it.
e-manage, thank you. This is still a beta version, so you may run into issues. I just want to set the tone that is expected at this stage. The current BOM will remain available for now in case you need it, but we encourage you to start testing for this new version right away for your real world scenarios. We have been trying to cover as many scenarios.
It's not giving me the option to mute.
Okay,
so
okay, sorry. No worries.
Beth,
Thank
can you mute?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I give you guys the options to unmute because I do want your inputs, and I want you guys to speak up, feel comfortable speaking up. This webinar is for you guys. It's a live webinar, so I do want you to ask questions and whatnot. But when you're joining, if you can, please just mute and unmute when you want to speak up. No worries. All right. So what was I saying? So testing, real world scenarios. We have been running through some tests. We've actually had it in the hands of some very, very powerful BOM users already over at System Center. So thank you, System Center. Big shout out. They've already been reporting a lot of different issues and feedback on changes, and really, really good feedback. So we want to hear from the rest of you guys. System Center is not our only customer. We want to make sure that it works for everybody. So definitely let us know what you guys think. We understand change is not easy, especially with a tool that you've used for so long, but we've incorporated, I'm telling you, years of feedback and put a lot of thought into making this version more intuitive, more powerful, more efficient. So we just want to make it better. So big overhaul. Be patient with yourselves and with each other. It's going to slow you down a little bit, but I'm sure some System Center folks can speak up. It took a little bit to get used to, but it's been mostly really, really positive feedback. I think the changes have been well accepted after you get past that initial learning curve. So like I said, just be patient with each other and yourselves, and we'll get through it. We'll talk about, again, like I said, we'll talk about how to report issues in just a moment, but your feedback is absolutely imperative with this major change. So with that, if there are no questions or comments coming in, let's dive into the live demo and explore what's new. All right, I'm gonna flip my screens around a little bit here. All right, as always, we have the e-manage team sitting in the chat room. So huge shout out real quick to Ravi, our e-manage BOM expert / everything expert. He is the mastermind behind most of this. So He's with us today in case I run into any speed bumps. I'm still new at it as well. It's still taking me some getting used to. So hopefully if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback during this live webinar, definitely chat them in right now. As far as submitting feedback on any issues that you're experiencing in the new BOM, same goes for all of your other issues that you should be submitting through the help desk, the service desk. If you have, this is my little time to drop a little reminder that if you haven't signed up for our help desk yet, every single user has access to this. Yes, it's still good to, funnel your things through your admin or your, e-manage champions in-house, but you are welcome to go submit your own issues. So definitely go in, send a help request through the help menu. It opens up the service desk and you can sign in using your email address and you'll create a password and all that good stuff. And just make sure that you let us know this is about the beta BOM. Be very clear that it's about the beta BOM. We will be tagging these and making sure that they get addressed as quickly as possible. With that being said, we are going to be sending out, thank you, Mariah. We are going to be sending out a update. I know that most of you just received 10041. Robbie, correct me if I'm wrong. So I believe we're going to be sending out after this webinar 10042. That'll have all the latest retakes from 10041, but it'll also have this new BOM shortcut beta version. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But just to make sure that everybody gets the latest and greatest, we will be pushing out a new version. It doesn't have a whole lot other than this. If we have time, I might drop a couple of things that this 10042 has as well, just a couple little tiny things, but this is the major one. After 10042 is pushed out, just a heads up, we will be sending out a live update maintenance email with some steps that are going to be required by every user. So be on the lookout for that email. It will go out to every e-manage user that's on our list. So make sure you follow those instructions after 10042. If you have any issues or questions with getting that update, taking that update, as you guys know, submit it through the help desk. All right, so send a help request. Last housekeeping item before we get started. We do have a help guide article started on the new beta BOM. Open up the help guide. If you missed that and you haven't seen this yet, this is your chance to definitely check this out. But e-manageONE help guide in the help menu there. I know I'm always shoving that down your throats, but it's so important. We put this out there for you guys. It's a tool for you. And so this is a huge update and change. So if you just start typing beta, you'll see there's a whole new section on the beta bill of materials. We're still adding to it, so it's barely just gotten started, but this webinar will help support that learning curve as well. All right, let's see it. Okay, shortcut for now until you get 10042. There's already, technically, you guys all have a little bit of an Easter egg sitting in your current version. Oh boy, if I do have any on-prem, I should mention, any on-prem dealers still with us. There's only a small handful of you guys. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get this version until next year when you migrate to the cloud. So just a little heads up, you're gonna have quite the delay on a lot of these updates that we've been pushing out. So move to the cloud sooner than later, and you can start experiencing this. Reach out if you have questions about that. All right, the shortcut, the little Easter egg currently in your version right now. So if you're sitting here looking at e-manage and you want to follow along, feel free to open up a test project and click on your keyboard, Control-Shift-B. So open up a project, that test project that you might want to play with, Control-Shift-B on your keyboard. That will open up the existing shortcut. When we put out 10042, we will be putting out a button that'll be very visible in the old BOM or your existing BOM that will be labeled beta BOM. So it'll be much more user facing. We'll get you guys to start clicking on that so you don't have to remember the shortcut. But if you're anxious to get to it right away, Thank you for chatting that in, Ravi. Control-Shift-B on your keyboard. This is the new BOM. I'm actually going to go into let me actually open this project. Apologies. Control-Shift-B. We're going to do just a quick little run through of the menus, the toolbars, things like that. I think the biggest change that we can say first and foremost that we're going to be getting used to is that we basically switched the view quotes and the view BOM tab. That's the very first large change. You're going to see why in just a moment, but it's going to be, you got to get used to it. But so when you first come into this new beta BOM, you're basically sitting in a quotes tab. So I'm just going to kind of go back and forth between a project that I do have some BOMs already existing so you can start to see what it will look like. But then I'll help you actually build one out from scratch, from the start. But if you see inside this project, we already had some sitting in here. So it should be fairly comfortable. If you've been in the view quotes tab, we just flipped it, okay? So in this first home screen that you're gonna see, if we're starting from the very beginning, so this should look pretty familiar. You still have the groupings, the default layout that we have in the last update where you can see which quotes have been ordered, which ones haven't been ordered. You can still highlight them and see your little preview panel on the right, making sure your checkboxes are all set correctly and add descriptions, change the name, things like that. The options connected to it, that's all still the same. The toolbar at the top in our view quotes tab, all still the same. Looks a little bit different, but all those quote settings buttons, submitting your web service quote, exporting it out, deleting it, printing it, your quote settings, all still the same at the top toolbar. Now, some things that are different. I'm going to go back in. So the very first step, if you're just wanting to start a brand new quote for the very first time in the beta BOM, typically we would go tools, new option. All we're doing with that at this point is replacing it rather than tools, new option, 2 clicks. We're doing 1 click, and the very first step is the very first button that says new blank quote, okay? You're gonna get a blank slate started, okay? Watch this. When I click that, it now opens up a tab underneath, and now everybody's dreams come true. Everyone who's all requested to me several times in the past several years, I want to see what quote I'm working in when I'm, in my option BOM views. You're going to see what quote you're in. So kind of similar to spec, you're going to see exactly what quote you're in, what that quote number is, and you'll just be maneuvering around in that. Now, basically, we're in the View BOM tab, but now you can actually see what quote you're in. When you first create a brand new option, I did not have any auto part template selected. So for my auto part templates users, it was in the top right. So if I just go back to this quotes tab here, it's still here. It sits here and it stays here. So if you wanted to use an auto part template before you're ready to create anything, you want to get that new option started with the actual quote template, come up to the top right corner, select your auto part template. No longer in the bottom right, tucked down, hidden away. A lot more user-friendly, in my opinion, much more user-facing. So click that auto part template, then click new blank quote. And now I'm just flipping back and forth between basically my view quotes and my view BOM. Everybody following along so far? Any questions, comments? Don't get too ahead, just on what we covered so far. Good, thumbs up, cool. Love the thumbs up. Use those reactions. All right, keep it moving. So I'm inside of this quote. Let's just talk about before I start adding new parts and things like that, just what we're looking at. Very different. So when I first get in here, I'm in the home screen. It pops me into the home screen. And you can see now I can hit add new option. I can import items from a ZIP file or an XML file. And then I have the refresh button, a couple of the things that we would see on that top toolbar in the View BOM tab. But where's all my other stuff? Like how to, right clicking and all the other tools that were up at the top. Pay attention to how when I click on certain things, so it's similar to how it reacts in the existing BOM when you click on things, Your right-click menu might change a little bit, or it kind of reacts. This one's going to be much more intuitive. So before I start clicking, take note of what we've done here. Rather than the split screen up top and down bottom, we're doing a little split screen on the side here. You no longer have to drill down options, expand, phase, expand, BOM, expand. Okay, it's all going to be right here where you can just start. It's your guide over here on the left, or if anybody can think of a better word, your navigator on the left. And so your parts sit here in the middle. So as I click on these different, actually before I go too much further there, the first, I think, set of feedback that I had was like how small these screens are when we start working with a lot of options, a lot of phases, potentially multiple BOMs. It can be probably pretty difficult to scroll and see what you're looking at. Ravi added in this little icon here on each one of these little windows. All of them can be clicked and enlarged, so you can see a lot more of what you're working in. You click it again, and it'll just go back to the regular. I'll talk about the edit sort in just a little bit. Is there anything else I need to know about that, Ravi? Anything you want to add about the enlarging?
No, I think that's it.
Good, cool. So yeah, keep that in mind as we start maneuvering around. I'll be clicking that so you can see a little bit more. As I click within the, so moving on to clicking inside of these different sections or in your navigator, when I click on top of options, it now shows me what my options are. When I click on phase, here's my phase options. When I click on BOM, here's my BOM options. So rather than highlighting right click, you're just going to click once, and every menu, every function that you guys were used to before, we have not taken away anything. We've just done a little bit of what I would consider like keep, kill, combine, but we didn't really kill anything off. It was more about combining and making it a little bit more intuitive. So we haven't lost any functionality, okay? But it's just a little bit different. So for those of you who are like right clickers, copy, right click paste, right click clipboard manager, everything is on the top toolbar now. No more right click menu. Can you shuffle those grids from top to bottom? I assume you're meaning like move, like the phases up, or like move these windows around. If we're talking about just like sorting or priority, okay, we'll get there. But no, I don't believe so. Ravi, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. But
you can customize your layout like all the other new windows. Just do the right click and then customize layout and save.
Where do I right click?
On one of the headings would probably be best, like on options.
Okay. Okay, good to know. So it's not as easy as like moving it. I would like to know a little bit more about why would you put phases above options? If we're thinking about how it's all connected, we probably wouldn't want to move them too much, but I can see absolutely how you'd want to make them big so you can see summaries and change the naming really quickly, things like that. But yeah, definitely send in some more feedback. I'll let Ravi answer some of those questions there. Okay, good questions coming in. Keep them coming. Just to make sure that I stay on track and cover everything that I need to, I'm gonna leave some of those alone. Okay, so highlighting how it responds and reacts to the top toolbar, much more user intuitive in my opinion. All right. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Wow, I got through that a lot quicker than I thought. Okay, adding parts. So you're ready to build something out and add some additional parts. Naming, all still the same. You still want to name your option. I have put in a request to highlight it the way that it does now so that you don't have to click in here. I think most people like that. Feel free to chime in if you don't like that, but I like how it clicks in and highlights, and then you can name your option. So naming conventions are still very much applicable here. Tagging will still work the same. If you tag, we'll actually import a CIF file together today. But this is your tags down here, basically. So just click on top and name. Adding parts, some changes here as far as adding part functionality. Still have to be on the BOM level. You can see if I'm on the phase level, I don't have the option to use the spec tool. We want to make sure that we still follow the same type of rules that we had before. So if I highlight on the BOM, now I have what type of part adding options do I have, right? Or some of the other things that we're used to being able to do, click a new, add a new BOM, things like that. So your parts are over here on the left, I'm sorry, on the right. And you can just start searching for parts the way that you did before. So you'll just click inside the search for parts and start typing any part of your part number. 1310. Okay, and it'll start narrowing down. What I love about this new search for parts, you guys, you can start searching for anything. You don't have to flip this to say search by description, search by, I don't know. The only thing I guess you have to flip it to is maybe if you're still searching for inventory. But you can even search by vendor, 925. Oh, there's a space there. And it'll pull up all my 9-to-5s, Hayworth. Okay, so it's like our search tools in some of the other areas in the system where it searches for anything in that grid. Okay, you want to add it in. Couple different ways that you can add in now. Might need Ravi's help with this to remember all of them, but highlight and the plus button still there. Okay, everybody hates the plus button. I know you do. So we've added in some cooler, more user intuitive ways to add parts, whichever floats your boat as far as adding parts. You can hit enter on your keyboard, right, Ravi? Or maybe we didn't add that. You can drag and drop. Oh, drag and drop, highlight first. A lot of times you guys have heard me say drag and drop from the row header. This area actually allows you to drag and drop from the actual grid inside the part number. So I'm just highlighting, holding my mouse down, drag and drop. Okay, double click. We added double click. Yeah, double click works. I guess just enter. I thought we had enter, but
oh, I will add in enter, but there's also the little plus still like before as well.
Right. Yeah. So still have the little plus sign right there, but I have a good feeling that no one's going to use that anymore. With the double click, the drag and drop, and when Ravi adds the enter in, we're set. I think that's a way easier way than finding this little tiny plus button, but it's there for those users that still, sometimes it's hard to kind of change that mind perspective. Okay. If there's anything I need to show off on screen, Ravi, when they are chatting in, just please let me know. Okay, so as far as adding parts, that all works pretty much the same. We just added the cool functionality for actually adding it, but you do still see your different ways. You can pull from favorites. You can pull from inventory. It's just now parts. You don't have to flip it to say like show description or search for description and things like that. I love that. Can you add multiple parts at one time? Yes, control keys, highlighting 3 different parts, dragging and dropping. Very cool. All right, hit the X to clear your results or your search and keep typing to find whatever you need to find. And it just starts going as you start typing. So the find isn't really totally relevant, but okay. I'm assuming the right-click template is your clipboard manager. We just remove the right-click menu. Yeah. So and no more right-click. Everything that you're looking for that you were used to in your right-click should be on the top toolbar. So if I go to paste from clipboard manager, I'll still see my options here of what I can add in. It breaks it down. The window's a lot, I think, more user-friendly. Looks way better for sure. But yeah, you can highlight and just click add selected to BOM. It's not paste anymore, just more intuitive language, hopefully for everybody, new users. That can be sometimes difficult, some of those verbiage things that we had. All right, add from spec, just on the top toolbar. So again, highlight your BOM just like we're used to now. Hit that add from spec button and it'll pull up your catalog reader. And you can just double click, double click. This all works exactly the same. I always pick the one with the most finishes. Skip, 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 skip. Okay, that all still works. Grid stuff all still works the same. You can click inside of your grids and make changes to your pricing. I am going to recommend that when you click inside of it, it highlights everything though. Robbie, that's for you. Copying and pasting. You can still copy paste. Again, everything in your right click menu is just going to be at the top. Okay. Adding from your catalog, copying, pasting, moving things around. So much more intuitive. If I want to move this particular line item to the freight phase for whatever reason, just move to another. I was highlighted on that last. Okay, sorry. You have to be in the BOM, highlight the item. Ooh, Robbie, am I doing something wrong? Sorry.
Yeah, if you're trying to move a part, you'd be moving to another BOM, not another phase. But you don't have a BOM under freight, it looks like.
Okay, so.
Or you might just need to select the freight phase and it'll show. Yeah, so if you go back to the other phase and then
highlight.
click on the part that you want to move and say move to another BOM, you should see.
Okay, so it'll show your freight, your phase name along with your BOM name. So this obviously is not super applicable, but yeah, you move parts around all the time. I know everybody does. So if you have to move something, it should be pretty intuitive. Just hit OK. It gives you a warning. Are you sure you want to move it to there? Yes, I am. And now it's on that line. So still using this to kind of navigate and move around. Okay. What else? Oh, bulk editing. And then we'll do edit sort. Bulk editing, price by menu. Everybody knows the price by menu, hopefully. If you are sitting in this webinar, you're probably a part of the BOM. So price by menu, global way to price change things. Okay. Price by never made sense to me. I guess yeah, it does when you think about it, but it's just not intuitive. Robbie has added all the things that you can do in a bulk way in the bill of materials. So even for some of you might have dabbled in the right click, bulk change every vendor or bulk change every product type or something of those sorts. Every bulk edit is now sitting in the bulk edit selected parts. Much more intuitive as far as verbiage goes, but put everything in one place. So it's not in a right click and also in a price by menu. So you can highlight your entire option, hit bulk edit selected parts, and there's the right click menu, bulk editing items. And in the middle here is your price by. So I would say I want to price it by MFG code, pretty standard. And then everything with HY, blah, 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 I want to have a 60% discount. A little bit more user intuitive. You can expand it to make it bigger. Definitely on some of these windows, that is going to come in really handy. Refresh is at the top too. So I saw that earlier, but it's in the home menu. Okay, so we do have two tools up here. You have the home and the option. When you're actually clicking and maneuvering around here, it's going to stay on those tools that you would use as you're maneuvering here. But if you just want to do a quick refresh or import or start a new option, those are all in the home tab. This is going to include everything that we've had in the other BOM. It's just going to be in a new place. So vendor commission column still going to be in the grid. You can still bulk edit your, again, highlight what you want to bulk edit first. And then MFG code, and you'll see vendor commission in here. Okay, as far as doing lots of questions coming up. Love this so much. Let me show some of these things. As far as viewing all options on one view, like the current BOM, I assume you're meaning add multiple options to one quote. Yep, I think so. So you'll notice here that I'm in quote 31533, but only option I have currently in this entire project is one option, and it tells me that for this quote, this is the one option on this quote. Yep, separate options, separate quotes. So we'll still go into your quotes. You can still hit your auto part template, hit new blank quote, creates you a whole new quote number, but now it gives me options. Oh, this one already on another, I'm sorry, this one was already on another quote. So you can see this one's not on this quote. So you can apply some filters, you know, to make it a little bit more straightforward if you want. These all have the new grid layouts as well. So you could, yeah, quickly just say, yeah, only show me on quote. Or clear that filter so you can see it again. Okay. I think Ravi's getting most of that. But if I wanted to, let's say I just created this quote and now I have two options, but on this quote, I want it to have both options. I would just refresh and add this quote, I'm sorry, this option to this quote. Then I'd probably delete this quote. So this is how you control what options are on what quote. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so the bulk edit, back to that real quick, all in there, the MFG codes, price by, all in there now. Sorting, new feature, you know, as we're obviously modifying this, we're also thinking about what new features can be added. Some of the wish list items that have been around for a long time. One of them is sorting and making that a little bit easier instead of going in to say 10, 15, 20, or 1, 2, 3, 4 on your sorts for your phases or your parts or your options. You can click and you could still do the sort here if you want to just do a quick one. But if you hit edit sort, it allows you to drag and drop. Okay. If there was something already sorted, it's going to resort it. Now, if I want the tags back at the top for whatever, you know, that particular phase at the top, I'm just dragging and dropping, clicking apply changes, and I'm done. Did everybody catch that? Because that changed my life. Edit sort. Okay. Highlight your line items, move them around, apply sort. Okay. I think it mostly applies with phases. So let's do it in a real one here. So I'm a little slow, as you can see. When I navigated in here, I'm like, where do I go now? I'm in the quotes tab, view quotes tab, but I want to see the parts that are behind this one quote. You can just highlight it and hit open edit parts. Open edit parts. That will take you into the quote tab and show you what's on that quote. Okay. So again, oh, this one's been ordered, so I can't do too much to it, but let's import something actually. Is there a way to sort by part or vendor? Ravi, can we hit edit sort and then just click right on top of vendor and then say apply sort?
You would have to drag and drop one first. So when you actually drag and drop, that's when it does the renumbering. So you could do that and then just drag one into the same spot and it should renumber if you bring in the priority field.
Priority. Just want to see it so people can see how that works. Okay. So if I hit edit sort, I drag and drop one, and then I sort by vendor. I sort. That works. Sort by part, same thing. Edit sort, drag and drop one, I guess, to get the sort started. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so you just need to drag one after you've like sorted out the grid. Like if you want to do product type or something, for example, you would sort it first by the column and then just drag and drop one part so that it applies the sort.
Part. I don't know if that's working for me or not. I'm clicking on top of part, but it's not doing anything. Clicking on top of description, it's not doing anything. We'll look at that.
You have to be outside of the sort. Like you have to do it before you hit the modify sort order.
Oh, okay. So sort like, and see now, yeah, it's freezing on me. I'm clicking on top of part number. Try that again.
I'm not sure what's happening. We can look at that.
Yeah, we'll look at the sort. And the sort in general, I guess. Yeah, just clicking on top of the headers aren't working. Maybe my sort's off or something. I don't know. Okay, we'll look at that. Yes, you can still filter your BOM. All the filters are still in there. Okay, let's import a new CIF file. So I'm going to close out of these and start from the very beginning. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete these, just to show you a clean slate. Oh, before I go there, if you're in the old BOM, actually, I'll just show you. If I'm in the old BOM and I start something and I go, well, hang on. I'm just going to delete some stuff here to get us a fresh, clean slate. All right, if I'm in the old BOM and I say tools, new option, and I get something started and I add something, right? And then you go out and I never flip to view quotes. I go out of here and I get back in to play in the new BOM, there's nothing here because you haven't actually created a quote yet. So again, the whole logic is reversed. We're creating a quote first now and then applying line items to that quote, okay? But if I hit new quote from existing, I think this will work. It will show you your available options, and then you can start your new quote. So do your whole thing, save and just save, get out of it, and then it will take you into, I got to fill out some stuff here, but then it would take you into the view quotes. I'm sorry, view BOM basically, where we just were. The little thing that I think some people are struggling with when you're working in both. So I would say like try to only be in the new beta BOM if you really want to start getting good at it, and before we release it fully, and make sure we address any issues that there might be. Okay, so to import something, first time ever. Thank you, Raf. Ravi, sorry, I need a little bit of assistance. Would I still have to hit new blank quote to even import something first?
Yes.
Okay, thought so. So new blank quote. I'm just going to delete this to keep things nice and clean. That was from my old BOM that I added that option in, but I don't want it anymore. So I have something started and existing here. I can either go to home, not either. You have to go to home and hit import items from file. From here, you can import something like totally new and it'll create you a whole new option like you're used to. Or if you already started this option and you just want to import it into what you've already started, you can import into option. So I'm going to go select my import type, select my document. Should already be in your project documents. If not, you can still browse for it. You can still select your auto part templates. So I'll actually add some labor to this one. And I want to import it into something existing because I've already started it. Again, if you don't do that and you're creating something brand new for the first time ever, it will create you a brand new option if you don't import it in. Then you can just delete that one. So if you forget that step, not a big deal. I purposely set this up where this window came up so that you guys can see this new window. If you don't have your code set up properly, it will pull up the window that we're all used to that says, hey, I don't recognize this. What do you want me to do with it? Just looks a little bit different. So these are both human scale. So I'm highlighting both and applying them to human scale. And I still have to pick my product type and my category. So go back and set up your code, put that code in the system. If you weren't a part of the last webinar, and I might have even failed to mention it in the last webinar, to be honest, this has been bothering me actually. We flipped the naming conventions on the code. So just a little side note, if that's been confusing anybody, we've aligned with what the specification applications have in their systems, which cat code is category code. That's the code that can be different throughout the entire catalog. It's different catalogs. And your MFG code is the actual manufacturer code. So MFG code used to be vendor ref, for those of you, my BOM experts that struggled with this verbiage from the beginning. We're now just aligned with the regular verbiage. So MFG code was the old vendor ref, cat code was the old MFG. So just think cat code is now the opposite. MFG code flipped. Okay, anyway, a little side note there. But I still have to fill out this side piece over here and apply to selected parts. All parts configured. There's one more extra button there, I guess. All parts configured. And then it adds everything in. As you can see, I did have phases already on that. It imported into the existing option. Still naming conventions. This is new furniture for Methodist Hospital. Okay. Highlight. Now I can see my phases. Highlight your phase. It reacts on the right side. Highlight my phase. Okay. Edit your sort. Probably something that our users that have been used to for some time is the numbering space, how that used to go into the sort. I would think we still want to keep that.
Yeah, I can add that back in.
Okay.
Just forgot about that.
No worries. So that sort number should be over in this, but you can see my tags still came in. You still have your phase quantity, phase unit of measure to lump sum this to show on the quote, just the total and the phase name and description. If you don't want to show all the detail on the quotes, we still have all the same functionality. Still make updates in the phase description. So it's just a double click, same as before. Double click to make your description, add your image. Same as option. You want to do an option description, option image, double click there as well. I think it's also in the top toolbar, right? Yeah, top toolbar, highlight, modify picture and description. Good questions, guys, coming in, loving it. Again, edit sort and make it big. These are tricks and tips that you're gonna wanna know how to maneuver around here, right? I'm in edit sort now. I drag and drop something. It resorts everything. And then I can start moving things around a little bit further from there. Highlight, delete. I don't want that blank phase anymore. Delete it. Oh, apply changes. That's going to take some getting used to. Make sure when you are using that sort that you click the apply changes. I wonder if there's a safety thing we can put in there if they do all this sorting and try to like flip to quotes that it says something about you want to apply your sort changes. Okay. Oh, I think I covered the majority of it. What am I missing, Ravi? It's just going to take getting used to, right? You got to get in there and use it. Going back to the quotes tab. Okay, I made all my changes in the view BOM that we're used to. This is your view BOM view. I want to print the quote now. It's not in this top toolbar. You flip back over to quotes, double click still works, or click your quote settings. Okay, and you'll go from there and print. Any questions that anybody wants me to show on screen, feel free to unmute. I'm going to open up for some questions.
There's been a few that have popped in that Robbie's gotten to some, but I don't know if he's gotten to all of them yet. Maybe he has.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Double click on, yep. Double click on the phase to edit your description and images, or like I said, oh, sorry, enlarged, or highlight modify picture and description. Emailing quotes still the same. You'll still go into your quotes tab, go into your quote settings, get it ready, make sure the bill to's right. All this is exactly the same. None of this has changed, this window. So have your quote templates, all that, but save and print, you'll be in your normal view and email from there. Yep. You can still see the option phase, pricing breakdown. They're flying in. I'm going to address everything on here, Ravi, if I can. Option phase pricing summary on one grid, the way you can in the old BOM. One grid. I think you're just referring to this, like, here's my phase breakdown. Here's my option. So totals, grand totals at the top. So we're just breaking those levels down into its own windows, and you can expand and see a lot more detail and know exactly what you're in and not have so many. I know you're used to it now, but for new users, it is, you know, pretty difficult to look at the options underneath phases, underneath BOMs. It's like a lot of data packed on that top screen. It's hard to know what you're looking at. My eyes just go cross-eyed. So I feel like this is such a cleaner look. But yeah, phase breakdown there. Grid functions. Oh, I was like, what is she talking about? Grid functions. Holly, the grid functions are part of the old grids. We don't have grid functions in any of the new grids. So it's now in this panel. So if you want to modify, I would suggest enlarging, getting your grid the way that you want it. You can still move things around, sort by certain things, get rid of fields, right click. All the new grid functionality is going to be a part of the new BOM. We're changing all the grids over to this one. Once you get it the way that you want it, you hit that little dropout panel, your grid layouts panel, and just click save. Sort the entire option BOM with a sum subtotal by vendor. Now we're getting into grid training, y'all. Okay, so how to sort the entire option BOM. So entire option BOM. So if I click on the entire option on the left side, shows everything on that option. I would sort, I'm not sure what you want to sort by, but to get a sum at the bottom, they're already technically there. In our default grid layouts, they'll come with the sums at the bottom, but just a little tip and trick there. You can, what is it? Right click, you have to have the sums. Because it's on right now, Ravi. How do I turn it off?
Sorry, I was reading the chats. What were you trying to do? Turn off the sums?
Turn on sums if you don't have sums, like your footer might not be showing. Yeah, so you have to first show your footer, and then if it is a value, like whatever.
You just right click underneath the column and it gives you some sum options.
Yeah. The averages look way better now. Got all the decimal places. Danielle, I hope that helped. Let me know if I need to clarify any further. All right, error message. Ravi will probably get that one. Ravi is not going to hop them around. Did you get that one? Is it going to hop them around when they're going between quotes and phases?
Yes. Can you actually try, like, so the question was if you click into a field to edit it, like you can use the arrow keys now to navigate the field, but can you also use it to get to the next item?
Yes. Up, down. I'm using my up, down right now. Is that what you're meaning?
I believe that's what the clarification was.
Or maybe when you add things, how it kind of like puts the option all back together. Yeah, none of that's going to be a case anymore because of how we've separated it out over here. I think that might be what she's talking about, Katrina. Y'all have so many questions. So if I didn't get to it and Robbie didn't get to it, unmute and ask your question because I'm trying to keep up, but they're coming in fast. And I can't keep up with if Robbie's answered it or not.
Stephanie, can I clarify the arrow key thing?
Yeah, so I'm in a cell here, a field, and I'm just going down. I clicked inside and it's actually using my down to move my cursor around to type more. So that wasn't available in the old one. But if I go into a field and I don't click in it again and go down. So you can click inside of it one more and you actually use your arrow keys inside.
Just the up and down or the left and right as well?
I'm using up and down and right. Yeah, both.
Okay. Because I think
which is nice.
Mostly where I was running into an issue is if I was trying to rename an option or something and I wanted to add something inside, I had to click exactly at the right spot.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
using the arrow keys.
This works now. Yes. Okay. Love that feedback.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then, yes, the arrows. If you click just once in there and just use your arrows to maneuver around, up, down, up, around, that works too. So actually navigating, but click twice inside the field you want to actually get into, and then you can move your arrow key to get to where you want to type extra. You highlight multiple lines in the option. Can you see the sum per selection? Multiple line, couldn't do that before. So if you highlight just the option, it shows you the sum of everything. If I highlight just the phase, it shows the sums of everything. But you've never been able to highlight just one item and it show the sum. Errors are still there, yes.
You actually can do that with the summing. There's some options in there when you like right click in the grids and stuff, but I think that comes down to just playing around with the grids and bit of training on that. Like when you go to the sums, I think there's different modes. It might be in the column headers. I forget exactly where it is. But there is something for like show for selection or show for all.
Oh. Okay, we'll have to play with that. There will still be a box that shows the errors. Oh, click on the errors. You can now clear errors on everything very quickly. I think you could do that before, but it's just much more user facing. That bulk edit selected parts, you want to do something on multiple parts. That's where you're going to go for editing multiple parts at one time, and you can clear options. Careful with that though, of course, check to make sure that they're actually not errors. But we did fix that. There was an issue when things would come in as not unselected. I think unselected, it was actually an option to select for some manufacturers, and that would be marked as error. That was fixed a while ago, I believe. That shouldn't be the case anymore. Truly not selected options are errored. Multiple options, separate quotes. How do I see all in one grid? You're just going to see all of your options right here. So you can just highlight everything right there. So if I go back into this project that has multiple, even though this quote that I'm in, so I went into quotes, I highlighted this one and I hit open edit parts. It opened that specific quotes parts and it showed me that there's actually other options. So just like you would be in the view BOM, you'd still see multiple options, but now you can clearly see which option tied to which quote. But if you wanted to grab all of these, you should be able to. Oh, Robbie, we might want to see if we can do that. I can't highlight multiple over here. But
it should be, yeah, it is selecting multiple. It's just, it doesn't look like it because the two options have been ordered, the two grayed out ones. But if you look at like in the phases grid, you see how it says option ID in and then it has 3.
You're right. Sorry about that. Yep. So maybe visually we can make it or add like blue highlight or something. I noticed we lack a little bit of color in this one. Like when I go look at the new one, got a little bit more color.
So if you need to edit a quote that has, by order, do you mean it's been converted, a PO has been created?
Correct.
It's as soon as it's been in order entry, actually.
Okay, so you're saying it's uneditable once it's gone through order entry, right?
Correct.
I think that
That's,
came out in the
there's no way
last,
to change that because sometimes we need to edit orders that have gone through order entry. Yeah, that can be a big issue.
You can, I don't know, Ravi, do you want me to show this?
You could technically like delete
Unlock
the
it?
items off the order, or we can. It's not based on the locked, no.
It's
We
not,
can
okay.
definitely take some feedback on that though.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
a
we can add,
frequent
like,
thing that we need to be able to edit that occasionally. It's not a, it causes a lot of errors with our accounting team if we're not able to edit it.
We could
Mm,
probably tie that to like a user right or something. We can.
maybe.
Is that the same as
Yeah.
like resaving and processing the bill of materials?
Yeah, because
It
if I
is,
can,
but
if I can
if
just
you-
do it when I reprocess, that would fix the problem. Like delete the PO, whatever, reprocess.
So, yeah, but with it being locked, you can't even edit to even get to that step, save and process BOM. There's nothing to reprocess because it's locked down. I think,
After you've gone to order entry?
right.
Yeah, I would definitely say that is something that is going to cause
Yeah.
problems, at least for my company.
Us too.
Us too. We do a lot of like multifamily. We change the pricing and stuff. So we'll send a quote out, but then we have to go and change it because like online pricing isn't always the same. So, and then that'll be after we pushed everything through. So we will have the same issue.
Yeah,
Will
us,
would you still be able to change it if you took them off the PO, or you're saying you need to keep them on the PO? Sorry, Stephanie, I'm just jumping in. I'm so confused.
You're good, Kelly.
You need to take them off, like you need to change them and keep them on the PO? Because if you change the BOM, but not after it's been booked, your invoice isn't gonna match what's in your records.
so for an
That is
example, if you're doing labor hourly and you don't have the total number, we would have to go in and update the order to make sure we're invoicing the client correctly.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the
But couldn't
invoice has to be
could you just
reprocessed.
delete that
to be done.
PO?
You
The
could-
PO is
That
for
can be even before
cost.
there's a PO. Yeah, the order is only about sell. So if we're
Right.
changing the
Right.
sell, we have to be able to reprocess that.
Ravi,
Right.
is the lockdown connected to it a purchase order item though? Or was it
No,
connected
right now it's
order
based on
entry?
order. Yeah.
to booking, job, like that it has a job number or whatever, book date?
It's if the item has a project order ID. So when it goes
Okay.
through order entry, it gets one, yeah.
Okay.
But that
Let
is
us
new
talk,
in this version, right? Because
I think it came out in the last update, no?
no.
No,
I
the
mean, not for
lockdown did
us.
not.
Oh, okay, sorry. Let us talk
It
about
seems
that
like it would be
internally.
locked down once it's invoiced.
Mm,
I just changed something yesterday after an order was processed, so it definitely still exists.
Yeah, we do. it.
Yeah.
It definitely still exists, but like sometimes we'll order something, we find out it's out of stock. We have to go back and change to something that's more expensive. So then we're going to go back and bill more. And instead of creating a change order for internal reasons, they need it all on the same quote, et cetera. Like there's just changes that have to happen that require us changing the quote after it's been through order entry.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
hear you. I
change
think
almost every labor invoice before
We hear
we
you.
invoice it.
got it. We hear you guys. We'll address it internally. I think that we'll probably put a user right with it because there are some dealers who have been, the whole reason that we have it is based on user feedback. People we just need to make sure they have the appropriate rights. We don't want certain people to be able to go in and just make whatever changes they want after a certain step in the process has been completed. But let's put a user right in place and then we'll unlock it for the people that we do need to be doing that. That sound fair?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I know we are 2 minutes over. Are there any other super pressing? Okay, as far as when do we anticipate this new BOM to replace the old? We're going to give you guys plenty of time. When we see the volume slow down and no issues are being reported on the BOM, then we'll be replacing it completely. We probably will even leave the old BOM as a button but that would be replacing the beta BOM button. The default would be the new BOM, but still giving you guys a way to revert to the old one in case there are any emergencies. So don't be scared.
Just real quick, because I think this has come up a lot in the past too. Somebody asked about applying tax rate changes. So in the new BOM, Stephanie, if you go to the home, if the tax rate has changed since the project started, like I don't know, you change end user company or whatever, in the home tab, you can actually hit the little refresh button next to tax rate, and it will reapply taxes based on the new rate to all parts.
I was
Nice.
actually me again. And my issue was that I had moved the BOM from a in another area. And then therefore it had a different tax rate. Like it was in a different city.
Yeah.
It had a different tax rate. And when I
Makes
moved
sense.
it, I tried to bulk apply the tax change, but you know, doing highlighting everything and then doing part pricing options, and it was not taking.
Oh yeah, you just want to do price by. Don't do part pricing options. In the old BOM,
Yeah, in the old BOM.
yeah, even in the new BOM, you're going to use the price by menu, and then you can just change the sales tax rate. There's a sales tax rate column in the price by menu. Part pricing options, yeah, hasn't worked in a long time, I don't think.
Okay, maybe that was my problem. And where's
Yeah.
price by? Is that just in the?
In the new BOM, on the old BOM, it's just on the top toolbar. It'll just say price by at the top. So highlight your entire option, click price by, and then probably product type for tax rate. Because I don't know if, you know, is everything on there taxable? So you can choose like what's taxable, what's not taxable.
No, there was a line that needed to be not taxable as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. So is it installation or
It was
freight
like
or
project
some type of
management.
services? Yeah. So if you do price by product type, you can put in the new tax rate for everything except for the project management. Zero the project management.
Because I'm not seeing it.
I'll show you in the new BOM. Bulk edit selected parts, which is price by. If I go to product type, there will be a sales tax rate, and I could just say, you know what, everything on this is supposed to be 0. And I just hit 0, 0, 0. Now I just cleared all the tax on everything here.
You don't actually have to refresh; those changes should be automatically.
Cool. I'm a refresher, as y'all can see.
Oh, I see. I've never used that field. Okay. And then, okay, I got it.
Nice.
Interesting. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Is it still possible to change the vendor on a part?
Yes, absolutely.
That drop down still comes down? Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any other questions that anybody put out there that feels like they need an answer immediately?
Kim said, can you show that? But I don't know what you're referring to, Kim. You're still here.
And then while Kim's unmuting, oh, okay, never mind. Ravi answered Sherry.
Okay,
Tax
cool.
time, we're good. Okay, good. Got it. Cool. Just to confirm, Control-Shift-B gives us a shortcut for the BOM today. Just open up a project, Control-Shift-B. Then if you want to go into the old BOM, close out of your new BOM window and just click the regular module on the left. Okay. All right, I'm gonna wrap up there. I know it's a lot. We might have a couple other webinars that we get a little bit more deeper into some of the different functionality that you might be either missing out on or you just need a little bit of refresher on. But we'll be posting this to our YouTube channel. We'll send out a follow-up email for anybody who missed it. But really appreciate you guys showing up today and getting so involved. The questions were great. But send in that feedback, go into help, send a help request, use that help guide article on the new beta BOM as you're navigating through there for the first few times. But your like I said, your feedback is so important to us with this major change. But yeah, excited for you guys and looking forward to your feedback. So reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to me directly via email if there's anything side chitter chatter you want to talk about. But if you have issues, definitely submit those to the help desk. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be talking to you soon.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one. Bye.